Welcome everyone to the day 27. The day 27 we're going to talk about something very special. We talk about a new data structure which is supported under the umbrella of collection framework, which is set. We talk about the hash set, we talk about the linked hash set in details. Let's get started. So this is how we go and iterate over the list collection. Now list is a type of a collection which could be like array list, it could be a linked list. In both of the cases we make sure that we can go and add as many items as possible. And in this the order is also maintained. Now moving ahead, this second type of a collection which belongs to the family of sets. So for example, if I go back to my previous screen and you see here there's another family of the collection which is set interface, and it has two main implementation, hash set and the linked hash set. They're more sorted set and the tree set as well. Let's try to focus on these two, hash set and the linked hash set. Now if I go and talk about what are sets, if I go and talk about what is a set, boss, set is basically a collection of unique elements. Unique elements means there should be no duplicate. For example, if there is a set, right, and here I want to keep on adding element. Let's say that I want to add 5. 5 is not present, so 5 gets added. Then I go and add 6. 6 is not present, so 6 get added. I want to go and add 7. 7 is not present, so I go and add 7. I go and put 5 again. Since 5 is already present, no impact will happen because I cannot have the duplicate items inside a collection if it is of a type set. So that's what the meaning of the set is. So set interface gives us a contract, gives us the confidence that this is a kind of a collection where there will be no duplicate entries. Now to implement the set, there are two concrete implementation. One is the hashed set, that's number one, and the another one is the linked hash set. Let's try to understand each of these with the help of the code example. So we'll go back directly to our old friend and also the most important friend right now in the programming, which is Eclipse. I go to my Eclipse, open it, and let me go and define a new class. Let me go and call this class as what? Let me go and call it as the set applications. Okay, to understand the set. And then inside this, let me go and define a public static void main string args. Fair enough. Now if I have to go and define the set, I will go in the similar way how I defined the list. I go and say the set, and I go and say that which type of data that I want to console. Let me go and call it as integer, and then I go and call it as my set equals to new hash set. Right, this set also I'll have to go and import. So let me click on this and it says that import set.util. All these collection framework, they all come from the package java.util. So hash set is also there. If you see here, I also have the hash set, I also have the set, and all of them belongs to this java.util package. Fair enough. Here it should not be e, I should make it as integer because I'm going to store the integer into it. Fair enough. Now if I go and put the value inside this my set, if I have to go and add anything, I'll go and put the value as 12, then my set dot add 79, then my set dot add 13, and I purposefully go and add one more duplicate value, 12. So if you see here, I have added 12 4 times. If I go and run this will not give me any error or something. It will go and seamlessly got executed as if 12 is also getting added. But if I go and print this set, if I go and call it as sysout and I print this my set and run this again, you will find that then this set, whatever that I have printed, I am getting 12, I am getting 13, and I am getting 79. 12 I added twice, it is coming only once, so this property is being managed that even though I added it multiple times, it contains the unique elements. Even though I added multiple times, this has a unique element. That's number one, which is satisfied. And number two thing, if you try to go and see that here is, see, first of all, I added 12, so I got 12. But then I added 79, but what I have got is 13. So the order is not being maintained, here. So the main difference between the set and the list is in the list you can have the duplicate elements. Using set ensure that you cannot have the duplicate elements. That's number one. But one challenge that you get here is you cannot keep hold of the order. You insert in any order, but the way in which it will be stored and it will be iterated will be totally different. That's the main difference between a hash set and a typical list. That's number one. Okay, so this is working great in the terms of a literal call as numeric value. Same way, if I want to go and do it, I can go, let me go and comment this out. And let's try to go and create a set of strings and see if that works for the string also. So I will say that set integer, no, it should be string. And I go and call it as names equals to new hash set, and I go and call it as string. Fair enough. And then I go into the names dot add a name called as Vishwa. Then I go and add the names dot add Mohan. Then I go and add a name called as names dot add Amers. And let me go and try to add another names dot add Vishwa. And then I go into the names dot add Shivani. If you see here in this case, I have added how many entries here, boss? I have added entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 entries I have added. Now if I go and print this names, let me go and call it as sysout names. I go and say sysout and I go and call it as names. If I go and run this, I added 5 entries. I added Vishwa twice, but it is only adding Vishwa once. So again, this is the whole property of hash set, that it cannot have the duplicate values. It's maintaining that, right? It's maintaining the properties of set. The only thing is that the order in which you have added, that is not, no order is here maintained as well, no order. Fair enough. Now if you have to go, if you want that I want to go and maintain the order, I want to have the property of the set that it should be unique, but at the same time the one which was inserted first should be the first that should be displayed. I want to go and maintain the order. For maintaining that order, we use a concept called as, there's another implementation of the set. So we have seen one of the implementation is hash set. There's another implementation of a set which is called as a linked hash set. Now the linked hash set has a little higher space complexity, but it gives you a better control of, for example, in this case, if I go and iterate this set, and iterating a set is very much similar to the list itself. If I have to go and iterate it, I'll have to just simply go and write for, and I go and say that string name names, and if I go and iterate over it and pass the name here and click on run as Java application, you see that the way in which it is added, it's not getting iterated the same way, right? If I want to make sure that it is being iterated in the same way, what I'll have to do is that I will just go and comment this line, and instead of using a hash set, I'll make use of linked hash set. And what I only need to do is that I just have to go and import this linked hash set. As soon as I go and do this, and if I go and run the same code again, you will see that the same order in which it is added, first Vishwa, then Vishwa is here, first Mohan, then Amers, then Amers. Vishwa again is repeated, it's not having, then Shivani, and then Shivani. And in the same exact order, when I'm iterating using the for each loop, I'm printing the same content. So we have understood, bhaiya, in the case of the set, you always get the unique elements. When you don't care about the order in which you want to iterate it, but you want the performance, you want the speed, you want to take the less space, typically you go and make use of hash set. On the other hand, when it's for you, the more important factor is the order in which the elements are inserted. You want to have a control on it. At the same time, you don't want any duplicates to be added. You go and make use of the linked hash set. Now all these data structures about the set and all, when we go and deep dive the data structures and algorithm, it will be done anyways in detail. So don't worry on those things. But let's quickly move to the next topic. So now we have seen that how set is working seamlessly, but with the natively defined data types, for example, string and the integer. I want to test it out with a user defined data types. So let me go and define a class here. Okay. So what we do one thing, let me go and define a class here. Let me call this class as class animal. Fair enough. And this animal class has a field called as a private string name, private int age. I go and do a right click on the source, and I want to go and generate first of all the constructors using the fields. So I've selected both the fields and I have generated the constructor. Then I would also like to go and generate the getters and the setters. Perfectly fine. Okay, I have defined the getters and the setters. And also, let's say that I want to give a good prettified string representation of this object. So I'll have to go and implement the toString method, which again with the help of the IntelliJ I'll be able to do it. So I can implement the toString methods. Perfectly fine. This is how I define the animal objects. Right? Let me go and comment this portion of the code, sir. And now I want to go and create a set in which I want to go and store the animals. So first of all, let me go and create the multiple animals. So let me go and create a call as animal a1 equals to new animal, and I go and call it, the name of the animal is dog and the age is 12. Fair. Then let me go and like this copy paste multiples. Okay, this is animal a2, this is animal a3, this is animal a4, this is animal a5. This is cat and it's like 11 years. This is again dog, which is 12 years. This is tiger, 7 years. And this is cat. This is, let's say for example, lion, and 12 years. Fair enough. What I need to do is that we're going to create a set now, set of animal, set equals to new hash set. Fair enough. Now what I go and do, I go and say that set dot, and let me go and call it as animals. Let me give it a better name. I'll go and call it as animal dot add. I go and pass s1. So it should be a1. And then I go and repeat doing this. a1, a2, a3, a4, a5. And now if I go and try to print this, if I go and call it as animals, if you go and print this out, sys out, animals. Now if I go and print this out, if I go and run this, how many animals do you think it should get printed? Right? So if I see here, I have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries. But if I see that effectively these two are the same entries, same, or duplicate entries. So just like the previous examples, here if I am trying to insert 5 times, but 2 of them are the same, right, duplicates. So I should have effectively only the 4 entries, right? But if I go and run this, if I go and click on this run as Java application, what you see here is that I'm getting 1, 2, 3. If you see this 4, right, and if I try to, I'm getting repeated. Let me try to iterate over it to have a better visual representation. So instead of system.out.println, what I can do is, let me go and do the iteration of it. So I go and say that for, and then again I say that animal, and I go and say that animal equals to animals, and then I go and say that sys out, and I go and print here as animal, run as Java application. And what I see here is that in this set, now the set property says that it has to be unique, there has to be no duplicates, but this cat, you can see this dog entry is here also and the same entry is here also. It's getting repeated. So right now it is violating the principles of the set. Why it is happening? It is happening because previously when we are doing the integers like 12 or 13, Java was knowing how to compare. When it was a string also, for example, Vishwa and Mohan, Java was knowing that I have to go and compare alphabetically. But when there is an object 1 and there's an object 2 and I have to compare, right now I have no way that how do I compare an object called as this and object called as this. Now, with all the previous knowledge that you have by now realized that if I have to go and do this, if I have to go and compare two objects, I have to go and implement a method called as equals, right? So maybe if I go and make use of the equals method, it should work. Let's try to go and see and make it work. So I go back to my animals class, and here in this case, I will go and do a right click, click on the source, and say that I want to go and create the equals. So for them, I got two things. One is the equal and the hash code. For the time being, let me go and comment this hash code method, and I only want a equals method. So this equal method will give me a way. This equals method will give me a way of comparing two objects of animal. Let's try to see that after doing this equals, will it have any impact? Because I have defined, if I go and rerun this code again, if I go and rerun this code again, run as our application, I still see there has not been much difference. Why is not much difference? Because internally when I go and talk about the hash set, and we'll talk about the internal implementation of all these data structures later on in our DSA course as we make progress. But to tell you now, HashSet internally makes use of the concept of hashing to store and retrieve data. So if you want any object to be properly handled by the HashSet, so I have to go and implement the equals, and at the same time I need to also go and implement the hash code. This is also called as equals and the hash code contract. Typically in any HashSet and going ahead in the map data structure, if you want to go and make use of an user defined objects, that object should definitely go and implement equals and hash code methods both. So what I'll go do now is that let me go and implement this hash code method as well. And if I go and run this now, run as Java application, you see here, as soon as I do it, now only I have 4 entries. I only have 1 entry of the dog. If you just have the hash code and you don't have the equals, for example, if I go and comment it here, and run this, again this will not work. As you can see, there are multiple dots. So both the equals and the hash code has to be present for this HashSet data structures to work effectively. Fair enough. So far what we have understood from this concept is, if I go and talk about, so far what we understood is that for the set is an interface. I have two methods, which is HashSet and the linked hash set. Typically HashSet makes sure that you have the unique elements. HashSet has no order. Linked HashSet has a ordered collection. Right? Linked HashSet has a ordered collection. That's number 1. And the number two concept is that if you have a user defined object, if you want to go and keep a user defined object inside this, then you have to implement both the equals and the hash code method. Both of them has to be implemented. And if you're making use of Eclipse, it becomes pretty simple. The Eclipse or any other IDE like IntelliJ will help you get these hash code or the equal methods auto generated. So finally, we have come to the end of day 27. Today we talked about the set data structures which is under the umbrella of collection framework. We talked about the HashSet, we talked about the linked HashSet, and we have seen a lot of examples. Let me know your learning journey, how it has been. Every day we have been doing it consistently. I hope that has brought a level of confidence in you. Please let me know in the comments how the journey is going on. Just few days are left before we go and complete the entire end-to-end core Java concepts.